Now we're going to look at making a fence. So the first thing you need to do is create the post where you want your fence to start. So you're essentially just going to be making a rectangle. Make sure that it is straight up and down and that it is parallel with the side of your paper. So this fence is going to be like a split rail fence. Okay, so we're going to start with a rectangle with where we want our fence to go for your fence post. Okay, so first I'm going to show you how to make it go off into the distance, and then I'll show you how to make it go this direction. So to make it go off in the distance, of course, again, we start with our rectangle. And then we're going to go from the bottom corner that is on the side of the vanishing point. So not this corner, but this corner. And I'm going to connect that bottom corner with my vanishing point. Remember not to draw dark. Okay, so then I'm going to do the top corner that's closest to the vanishing point. There. And then I'm going to do the side corner right here. Okay, so that's going to be the basis for where our fence is going to line up and how our posts are going to be. So these lines right here will show us how tall it'll be, and then the line down here will show us how low down it will go. Okay, so your next step is to make the rest of your posts. They're going to start out a little bit spaced apart, and then they're gradually going to get closer and closer as we go. So where I want my next post to go, I'm going to make a line that goes straight up. And then I'm going to have it go straight over here. And then we also want a line straight over there. This line doesn't have to go too far because now we're going to connect it. So I'm going to go from this corner up here. I'm going to go straight down. Right there. So what I just did is I created a second rectangle. Okay, I'm going to do it again so you can see. You might want to pause and rewind and watch that again because it's a little bit complicated. Okay, so for our next post, same exact thing as this. Just doing it again. We're going to make this one a little bit closer because as it gets further away, that gap will look smaller. Okay, so I'm going to go from the bottom line up to the middle line. And then I'm going to go over at the top of it, over at the bottom. And then I'm going to connect those to make it into a rectangle. Erase any extra. And I'm going to do one more. You can have it go back as far as you want. Okay, so this is going to be the same exact thing as this and the same exact thing as this. So I'm going to make a line that goes straight up, connecting the bottom to the middle. And then I'm going to go over and over. That should be parallel with the bottom of the paper. And then from this point right here, and I go straight down. Okay, so those are going to be my fence posts. Now the next thing I need to do, we can see the front of the posts here, so now I need to make the side of the post. So if my vanishing point is on the left side, then the side of the post is going to be on the left side. If my fence went off to that direction, my vanishing point was on the right side, you would see the right side of the post. Okay, so in order to do this, you are going to make a line that's parallel with your post. So a line that just goes straight up. Okay, and then right here, it'll go straight over. Then I'm going to erase everything from the end of that post to my next post. And I'm going to repeat. So on the left side, I'm going to go straight up and then straight over. And then erase everything between that post and my next post. And I go back in there with my eraser in a little bit, get it a little bit better. So the next one, remember they're getting smaller as they go into the distance. And I go straight up to that middle line and then straight over. Then erase anything in between. Okay, same exact thing. I'm gonna go straight up and then straight over. And now I'm gonna erase everything to my vanishing point because that's where I want my fence to end. Okay, the next thing I need to do, so I have my posts, so now I need to make my rails that go off to the distance. So the first thing that I would suggest is just to decide where you want your rails to stop and start. So I want my first rail to be about that wide and I want it at that position. So I just made a mark for the top of my rail and for the bottom of my rail. And then I'm going to do a second rail. So I'm going to make 2 more marks, one for the top, one for the bottom. And I'm going to connect those points to my vanishing point. And I can stop when I get to the end of my fence because I know I don't need it to go past that. I'm going to do it with this one. And then I'm going to do it with my next 2 as well. Okay, so you guys can have different kinds of fences. They're not all going to be exactly like this one. Some of the rails, a lot of the times, will be on the outside like that, but I'm going to make mine so that they're on the inside a little bit. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase any of the railing that is on my posts, on the left side of my posts. I think I need a smaller eraser. I'm kind of erasing some of my details, so I can kind of just draw those back in. It's a better idea to draw them back in now that you kind of remember where they are than to try to save that for later. Okay. Next step is I'm going to erase any of the posts that I can see in the rails. Erase right there. Right there, there and there. Be helpful if I had a smaller eraser, which I do, but I don't know where it is right now. I'm going to just kind of draw those things back in that I lost. Before you color these, I would suggest to go over it with a darker color, just so you can still see, go over the lines just so you can still see those details. Okay, so you could leave it like that. However, if you want to make it as realistic as possible, you're going to have to do one more step, or a couple more little steps. So I'm going to go right above where this line is, and I'm going to make that go to the vanishing point. You can either make it go all the way through that post, or you can stop once you get to the post and then start on the other side. That will save you a little bit of erasing later. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing down here. So I'm going to go a little bit above my rail and go to my vanishing point, and I'm going to stop when I get to the post just to save me erasing later. Okay, so to finish it off, we have to connect those two. So I'm going to go across here and across there, and across there. And it gets pretty small back there, so it's hard to kind of see those details there. Okay, so it looks pretty good. The last thing I'm going to do is just come through again and redefine some of those lines, just so I don't lose those before I go to color. Okay, so if you want to be done with it now, you can. However, if you would like your fence to go across this way or across this way, I'll show you those steps next. So what you're going to do, if you want to do that, again, you don't have to. If you want to stop the video now, you can. First, we need to make the posts like we did last time. So I'm going to use this post as kind of a guide. So I'm going to make a line that is where the bottom of this rectangle is and go straight over. So I know how tall they need to be. I'm going to make a line right here that goes straight over. Again, if you want to do this over here, it's going to be the exact same directions, but I'm just showing you right here since it's a little bit bigger. You can see it a little better. Okay, and then this top line, I'm going to go straight over right there too. Okay, so your next step is to make those posts. So I'm going to make these two lines that go straight up and down to start. And go straight up and down. You want it about a similar width. You don't want it too different. Okay, then it looks like I'll have room for one more over here. Straight up and down. And straight up and down. Okay, my next step is I need to go to the vanishing point from 3 of these corners. So this corner, this corner, this corner, that corner, that corner, that corner. If my vanishing point was on the other side, then I would do this corner, and this corner. Okay, so I don't have to go too far, so I'm just going to make a little line that goes to my vanishing point. Up here, I can use this line as a guide for where to stop. So I'm going from this corner to the vanishing point, 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 and this corner to the vanishing point. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go straight down from here. You know what? It's looking a little wide right there, so not sure if my lines are not quite correct, but I'm gonna just edit that a little bit. So I'm gonna go across so that it looks about the same as that one. Okay, then I'm gonna go straight down from here, and then straight down from here. Okay, then I'm going to erase these lines that connect those. On the top, as well as the ones on the bottom. I think what I did is I made maybe that too wide. That's why those ones ended up so wide. But we'll make it work. Okay, so I'm pretty much erasing everything except those posts. This line's a little crooked. I'm going to fix that. There we go. Okay, next, where I had those little markers where I wanted my split rails, I'm going to put my ruler on there and go straight across. And Come straight across again. And then 2 more times. Okay, and then I'm going to erase anything that is in my posts on the front side. I just erased it on the side, which I didn't mean to do. So just on the front. Okay. So the last bit of this is to make these rails look more 3D. So I'm going to go from where the right side meets the post, and I'm going to go to my vanishing point. I'm going to go to where the top right side meets the post here and go to my vanishing point. And I'm going to continue that where the top right side meets the post and go to the vanishing point. And do it again. Okay. Now I can do all these at once. Makes it a little easier. If I line my ruler up with where the end of that is on the post, I can just go across, jump past my post, go across, jump past my post, and go across. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to line up my ruler with the top of that little line. I'm going to go across, jump past my post, go across, jump past my post, go across. And then I can erase any extra stuff I may have on there. I'm going to erase my post that's within my railing. Remember, it's easier to go back and define your lines now instead of trying to remember later what you were doing.